Hey, what's going on? Keith from Trigger Happy. Got a Beretta PX4 Storm we're going to take a look at tonight. This is the dual action only version, but the gun itself is pretty much the same. Before we get to the gun, let's take a look at what's in the box. Beretta supplies you with changeable back straps, which I like. So there's a really small one. There's one that has more of a beaver tail type feel to it that's gonna come real high on the grip, which I like as well. Basically ships with what would probably be considered the medium sized one. Comes with 2 magazines with 17 round capacity, also a magazine loading tool, which is nice because when you get into these high caps it can be a real pain to load. Now onto the gun itself. It's a very different looking gun. You can see overall it's got some very different angles to the slide here. Overall it's a nice looking gun. I like the grip here in terms of the kind of the serrations that are cut into it. That's not the proper word, but it's what I'm going to call it. And you get a really nice grip to it on the fingers on the front. It is definitely a full-size grip, so getting all 3 fingers on the gun, not a problem whatsoever. Coming on up, basically set up for right-handed shooter only. Your slide stop and mag release are on the left-hand side of the gun. So there's no manual safety on this gun, not even on the trigger itself on this dual action version. So kind of something a little different maybe to get used to. But in terms of the trigger, like I said earlier, this is the double action only version, so it does have a longer, harder trigger pull. It is a recessed hammer type gun, so it is kind of a long pull, but it's not particularly bad. It's pretty constant, and there's not anything to bring up in terms of slack or slop here. It's pretty consistent pull throughout. It's just long and hard, but that's kind of to be expected from a double action only gun. Does have a front rail here for an attachment, maybe a lighter laser. Breaks down in a similar style to a Glock, which is here. As far as the sights go, pretty nice. 3-dot pattern, fairly low profile, nothing spectacular, but pretty nice. Do like it. So in terms of a full-size gun, I have no complaints here. There are some different looks to it. I mean, the barrel itself is a rotating style, so when you see this come back, you will see if you can see that, it does rotate inside of the slide. Maybe my only complaint in terms of the look of the gun, well, overall it is ugly. I mean, I'll admit, it's not the prettiest gun in the world, but these serrations, and that is the proper word, on the slide could be a little deeper and a little easier to grip. Minor complaint, but I could see with kind of maybe wet hands or slick hands, it would be a little difficult to go into battery there, just because they're not a real deep groove here or cut. So, but overall, for a gun that retails under $450 in some cases, even under $430 in some cases, not a bad option. So the Beretta PX4 Storm, again, this is the double action only. There are double and single action versions out there, but overall, pretty pleased with this version of the gun, and for the money, not a bad setup at all. So check it out, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.